This video will overview my research project on Jonathan Edwards and the Northampton revivals of 1734 and 35. Specifically how those revivals gave Edwards the experience along with an international audience to make him a prominent figure and a leader in the Great Awakenings of 1740. Preceding the revivals in Northampton of 1734, there was a lot of social tension in the town, with particularly between 15 to 22-year-olds questioning authority, both in the church and at home, along with there being a lack of land available and people needing to postpone marriage because of there not being any land available. The revivals were sparked by the sudden death of a young man in the community, which Edwards was able to capitalize on this deeper concern following the death of this young man for several reasons. One was that he began to directly appeal to the adolescents in Northampton, and another reason was when he was younger he'd had two near-death experiences and knew what it was like to realize that the folly of chasing earthly pleasures when eternity is at the door. He had an understanding of that concept. So Edwards, through his direct appeal, and later on that year another woman, a woman died, a younger woman suddenly as well, and the town, through the movement of the Holy Spirit, revivals were going on and hundreds were converted. The revivals ended suddenly in the spring of 1735 with the suicide of Joseph Haley, according to Edwards' account. And after the revivals is when Edwards really hits and becomes an international figure. He's asked to give an account of the legitimacy of the revivals. There was a group of clergy who were concerned that the revivals were merely emotionalism and were not legitimate, genuine conversions. And Edwards gave this account to Benjamin Colman, a minister in Boston. And Colman liked the account. It was scientific, it was detailed, and it defended the revivals as a movement, as a work of the Holy Spirit. And Colman forwarded that letter to London, and it continued to circulate from there. That letter was eventually published as a faithful narrative of the surprising works of God in 1737, and it made Edwards an internationally known figure as an apologist of the revival. That, along with his preaching, he was a very powerful speaker, which he used excellent logic along with imagery to cultivate and to move the crowd and the audience during the Awakenings in 1734. Made him an in-demand preacher to travel to areas where ministers wanted to bring about revival. And these two factors made him someone who wrote works such as the Distinguishing Marks of the Whole of God in 1741, and his Sinners in the Hands of an Angry God sermon make him a leading figure in the Great Awakenings of 1740. In conclusion, Edwards would not have been such a leading figure without the experience gained from the revivals in 1734 and a faithful narrative which gave him an international audience. Thank you.